jumped in as well, smashing me in the back seat. Osco's was the Studio 54 of LA, a leftover of the quickly fading disco era. Arriving at the club, the doorman knew Suzanne and Penny. I couldn't figure that out. Greeting Penny and Suzanne personally, the doorman let us pass through the velvet rope without as much as a second look. Apparently Penny and Suzanne were locals at the club. Do a little dance, get down tonight. Casey and the Sunshine Band's hit song resonated over the sound system. Suzanne, grabbing my hand and pulling me towards the floor, said, "Let's dance." Instantly, I froze up, not budging. So y'all got to remember, man, I'm a 16-year-old kid here, all right? I'm a 16. This is this ain't a 52-year-old man talking to, reading to you. This is a 16-year-old boy. So, I just want to break in there and, let you know that. So dig it, Instantly, I froze up, not budging. My feet might as well have been set in cement. Dance with girls? I knew how to pogo, but I had never danced with a girl. Suzanne, looking intently at me, knew I was afraid. I glanced at Abel, and he was dancing with Penny. They appeared as if they were having fun. Suzanne began pulling me through the crowded disco. "This is lame," I complained, attempting to be cool. Arriving at the bar, 2 drinks magically appeared, as well as some slick-ass looking motherfucker asking, "Hey, Suzanne, what's happening? Who's your boyfriend?" Replying, "Thanks for the booze." Suzanne hardly glanced at the slick-ass looking motherfucker. Then pointing to a guy with a mustache, she said, "Look, it's John Holmes." "Who?" I asked. "Deep Throat," Suzanne said, arching her eyebrows. "Huh?" I mumbled. Suzanne gave a sigh. "Don't you know anything?" Penny and Suzanne were players at this scene, and I was not. Feeling out of my element, I pulled Abel away from Penny. "Fuck, dude, man, let's split, dude. This ain't cool. Let's go to the Starwood," I said. "Oh, dude, I'm having fun," Abel said. "Come on." However, homeboy, being a down-ass motherfucker, he had my back, and he said, "All right, let's bang." So we split out the club, Suzanne following us at her side. And she shouted, "Don't go, Todd, stay." But I had enough embarrassment for one evening, and Abel and I set out for the bus stop. Abel said goodnight, but I was mortified, and I didn't say anything. So, that was my introduction to punk rock girls, and I'll bounce it forward a bit here, and I'm going to give you a little insight into our neighborhood back at the beach. The ultimate act of human destruction in Venice was the annual Turkey Bowl football game. It was, of course, played on Thanksgiving Day. All the thugs, surfers, skaters, punks, and non-affiliated motherfuckers were allowed to take part in the event. The reason being that it was a great opportunity to beat someone's ass. The game itself was played in between the palm trees on the grassy area in front of the Venice Pavilion. If you had a beef with someone, or you just didn't like them, you made sure you were on the opposite team. Damn, man, the damage was spectacular. It was a real sight to see, 22 drunken and drugged out maniacs knocking each other silly. As if we were the Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins themselves. Broken bones and dislocations were not uncommon. Homeboy Rex got carted away in an ambulance screaming for his mama with a broken leg. To win the game was not the objective. To inflict as much pain that was the objective. After the game, we would get a free turkey dinner with all the trimmings at the church handout that evening. So sitting down at the table, I dug into my dinner. Victor Torres walked in and pulled out the metal folding chair, sitting down silently across from me. Victor began questioning me in Spanish, looking me dead in the eye and saying, "Hey, ese, ¿qué pasó contigo? Yo, gangster, what's up with you?" Before I could reply, Victor then said, "I need you to go on a mission, Holmes. This is very serious." Victor was a POP local and a member of the Sawtell gang, a rival of Venice gangs. Knowing Victor from the boys' home and owing Victor a debt of gratitude, I could not refuse a request from Victor. Victor was a youth counselor at the time I was in the boys' home and took me a liking to me when he broke up a fist fight between me and an older kid. Victor gave me my first real surfboard, a Guy Okazaki family surfboard. He jumped me into the family. There was nothing I could do. Victor also showed me photos of him from Hawaii and really sparked my interest in the islands. I made to get up, but Victor said, "No, Holmes, finish your comida first." Finishing my dinner as fast as I could, Victor then instructed me to go with him. Sliding into the passenger seat of the Chevy without making a sound, Vic started the car with the quick turn of a flathead screwdriver. Obviously, the car was stolen. We drove to Exposition Avenue near Pico. Victor then parked the car saying, "I'll be right back, Ese. You wait here, Charlie." Victor returned and got in the back of the car at the same time pulling out a Sherman, better known as a Sherm stick. If you don't know, this is a distinctive brand of cigarette treated with PCP. Vic then said smoothly, "You drive, Holmes." So I slid over and started the car up, saying, "Where to, Vic?" "Just drive, Holmes," Victor replied. Driving the car to the top of Tuna Canyon, overlooking the Pacific Ocean, the smell of the Sherm stick was overwhelming. As Victor demanded all the windows be rolled up to hotbox the car or fill it with as much smoke, toxic smoke, as possible. Victor was almost comatose from the drug, slobbering on himself while mumbling something about cholos and cholitas. We listened to KRS 101, the oldies radio station. He wouldn't let me touch the dial. I stayed the entire night with Victor. As the sun began its pink hued ascent in the eastern LA sky, the Staple Singers' "I'll Take You There" began playing over the radio. I got out the car and just started walking down the canyon to Pacific Coast Highway and hitched a ride home. So that's a little story about Victor. And pretty much this is the way I grew up, you know. It was just like, you have to get down to be down, you know. And I didn't really relate to people very much, so punk rock kind of brought me into that fold to where, I could kind of relate to people a little bit, outside of my deal. So I guess I'll choose, a little bit about a punk rock here. I don't know if anybody was hanging out at the clubs at the time or know anybody in that scene, but one of my good buddies is Pat Smear, and Darby too, but Pat was really my hero, not Darby. I really like Pat, so I'll read to you a little bit about Pat. Pat and I would ride the bus around together. He seemed to really like using the bus. I think Pat liked to watch people on the bus. On our way to a club called Flipper, because it was shaped like a giant pinball machine, Pat and I went into the 7-Eleven on Fountain and La Cienega to buy beer. A jock started taunting Pat. Pat told him to fuck off. The jock got brave and slugged Pat dead in his mouth. Pat's lips swelled up like a balloon, blood running down his chin, all over his shirt. Pat didn't even fight back. I couldn't believe it, so I jumped in between the two and smashed the jock with the 6-pack of beer we had just bought. The impact knocked Jock out cold, opened a gash on his head, and gave him a beer shower. The broken glass glittering in the car's headlights caught my attention. "Come on, Todd. The cops are coming," Pat pleaded as I made to kick the jock's teeth in. At Flipper, Pat recounted the fight to a group of punks. Darby thought it was cool that I hit the jock over the head. It was like this little weird incestuous family we had. And I met Darby's girlfriend. Her name was Amber. I kind of stole Amber from Darby. And she was married to Don Kirk, also, who played guitar for the Flesh Years. So I'll give you a little clue about Amber. Amber was always going on about the band X, but I hated fucking X anyway. Exene is jealous of me because I fucked John, Amber boasted. So what, he fucked Axel Grease too, and he has a million zits on his face. He's got a pizza face. What the fuck you want to fuck with a guy like that for? I complained. Yeah, they both have giant cocks. Amber laughed, practically drooling on herself. I didn't like X, but I did like Billy Zoom, who played guitar in X. He was cool. He played a silver Gretsch and wore a silver leather jacket. Attached to the jacket's shoulder lapel was a Mercedes emblem. That, I thought, was the shit. So I decided to copy Billy, but I'd one-up his jacket. Traveling to Beverly Hills by bus, I didn't have a car at the time. With a wire cutter, screwdriver, and a lot of malicious intent, I cut, pried, and twisted 39 Mercedes and BMW emblems from the wealthy residents' cars, singing to the Circle Jerk song, Beverly Hills, Century City. Beverly Hills, Century City, all the people look so nice and pretty. I conducted my handiwork, all the while imagining the look on the assholes' faces when they discovered that the prize status symbol was missing its emblem. I kicked off a few side mirrors to add insult to injury. Pretty much, that's how things went, you know, for me in the punk rock scene. When, you know, just it was just a trip, you know. It was just it was once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah. So I really thank you for putting up with me, reading some of my memoirs, and Tequila and CIA for putting me on. Thanks a lot.
What about the sequel?
Jerry Lewis, ladies and germs. All right, so a pull and air is coming up in a few minutes. So we'll play a little music in between and then put the band on stage, and I hope you like the band. And if we're lucky, we'll get John Ross to whistle for us. He's brilliant.